Most men think testosterone is controlled by the gym, heavy squats, explosive workouts, extreme training programs. But what if one of the most powerful triggers for testosterone was something much simpler? Something most people already do every day: walking. A growing number of studies suggest that regular walking can influence hormone balance in ways many people never expect, not through extreme effort, but through consistent movement. And the difference between walking only a few thousand steps a day and walking closer to 8,000 may quietly reshape how your metabolism, stress system, and hormones behave. But before we understand why walking helps testosterone, we first need to understand what happens when movement disappears. Imagine a group of young, healthy men, strong, active, in their physical prime. Researchers asked these men to dramatically reduce their daily movement. Nothing else changed. They did not alter their diet. Their sleep remained the same. The only rule was simple: move less. Their daily steps were limited to roughly 1,500 steps per day. That level of movement may sound extreme, but it actually mirrors the lifestyle of many modern workers. Bed to car, car to desk, desk to couch, and the results appeared quickly. Within just 2 weeks, their metabolic health began shifting. Their bodies became less sensitive to insulin, fat storage increased, energy levels dropped. But the most striking change appeared in their hormones. Their testosterone levels fell, not slightly, significantly. The body interpreted the lack of movement as a signal that energy should be conserved, and reproduction was no longer a biological priority. But when the researchers allowed the men to return to normal walking again, something interesting happened. Their metabolic markers began improving. Their bodies became more efficient at handling blood sugar, and testosterone levels slowly began climbing back toward baseline. This experiment revealed something extremely important. Your body constantly interprets movement as information. When movement disappears, your biology begins shifting toward conservation. But when movement returns, your body begins rebuilding. Later research expanded this idea by examining real-world data. Scientists analyzed hormone levels from hundreds of men while tracking their daily step counts. Instead of simply comparing active and inactive groups, they discovered a pattern. For every increase in daily movement, testosterone levels tended to rise, not through sudden spikes, but through gradual biological adjustments. And when researchers compared men walking fewer than 4,000 steps per day with men walking more than 8,000 steps, the difference was dramatic. Men who moved more had a far lower risk of low testosterone. So why would something as simple as walking affect hormones so strongly? The answer begins with stress. Your body produces many hormones from the same raw material. One of those hormones is testosterone. Another is cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone released when your body senses stress, deadlines, financial pressure, lack of sleep, arguments. All of these can increase cortisol levels. But your body cannot endlessly produce both cortisol and testosterone at high levels. In many cases, when stress hormones rise, testosterone production decreases. Movement plays a powerful role in this balance. High-intensity workouts can temporarily increase stress hormones because they are physically demanding. Walking does something different. When you walk steadily, your brain experiences a predictable visual rhythm. The environment moves past your eyes at a constant speed. This pattern sends calming signals to the brain, specifically to the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats. As the brain senses that the environment is stable and safe, stress signals begin to decrease. And when cortisol levels fall, your body regains resources that can support testosterone production. But stress is only part of the story. Body fat also plays a major role. Not all fat behaves the same way. Fat stored around the organs in the abdomen is known as visceral fat. Unlike fat under the skin, visceral fat is biologically active. It releases enzymes that directly affect hormones. One of those enzymes converts testosterone into estrogen. In other words, excess abdominal fat can slowly reduce testosterone levels. Walking becomes powerful here because of how the body fuels movement. Short bursts of intense exercise rely mostly on stored sugar, but steady walking shifts the body into a different metabolic state, a fat-burning state. When walking consistently, the body becomes more efficient at mobilizing fat as fuel. Over time, this helps reduce visceral fat, which means less hormone-disrupting enzyme activity, and a healthier hormonal environment. Another mechanism involves blood sugar. After eating a large meal, blood sugar levels rise. To manage this spike, the body releases insulin, but chronically high insulin levels can interfere with hormone balance. Walking activates the largest muscles in the body, your legs. Every step causes these muscles to contract, and these contractions pull glucose from the bloodstream, almost like a sponge absorbing water. This process helps regulate blood sugar levels and reduces the amount of insulin needed. Stable insulin levels support a healthier hormonal environment. But hormones are not only chemistry, they are also behavior. Testosterone is closely connected with dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter linked to motivation, curiosity, and drive. When people remain sedentary for long periods, dopamine activity often declines, which reinforces inactivity and low motivation. Movement interrupts that cycle. Walking stimulates mild endorphin release, improves mood, and increases dopamine signaling. Biologists sometimes describe something called the winner effect. Animals that patrol territory and move confidently through their environment often show higher testosterone levels. Movement itself becomes a biological signal of vitality. Purposeful walking can mimic this pattern. So how should someone walk if they want these benefits? The first factor is pace. A slow, casual stroll can be relaxing. But hormonal benefits appear stronger when walking has intention. Imagine walking quickly through an airport because your flight is boarding soon. Not running, but purposeful. Your breathing increases
Flight
slightly,
4052
yet you
to
can still
Miami
speak
is now
comfortably.
boarding at gate
That
22.
pace activates fat
Please have your
metabolism
boarding
without
pass
triggering
ready.
excessive stress hormones. The second factor is timing. Short walks after meals appear particularly powerful. Just 10 to 15 minutes of walking after eating can dramatically improve blood sugar control. Instead of relying on one long walk in the morning, spreading movement throughout the day keeps metabolism active. The third factor is environment. Whenever possible, walk outside. Sunlight plays an important role in hormone regulation. Exposure to sunlight helps the body produce vitamin D. Vitamin D acts more like a hormone than a vitamin, and it is involved in testosterone synthesis. Outdoor walking also amplifies the calming visual rhythm that reduces stress signals in the brain. The beauty of walking is its simplicity. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not need a gym membership. And you do not need perfect technique. You simply need consistency. 8,000 steps per day is a realistic target, not extreme, but enough to signal to your body that movement and vitality are still priorities. When your body senses regular movement, stress hormones decrease. Fat metabolism improves, blood sugar stabilizes, and the internal hormonal environment becomes far more favorable. Testosterone is not controlled by one single habit, but walking may be one of the most overlooked foundations. Sometimes the most powerful biological signals come from the simplest actions. Stand up, start moving, and let your body rebuild the systems it was designed to maintain.